Hey everyone, welcome to Red Fox Sewing and Crafting, and welcome to my craft room. I'm Joanna. So today we will be continuing making our memory box, and I'm going to show you how to make this page. So with this one, we have 4 flaps. 2 of them have extra flaps like the previous page, and then 2 have pockets. And then in the center on the front is our pocket, and the back is just plain. So for this one, you will need one 5.5 by 7.5, one 4.5 by 5.5, one 4 by 4.5, four 3.5 by 5.5s, two 3 by 4.5s, and two 3 by 3.5s. So we're going to start with the 3 by 3.5s, and with the 3-inch side at the top, we are going to score at 1/2 inch. With our two 3 by 4.5s, we are going to be scoring on 3 sides. So 2 on the short side and 1 on the long side. Our 4 3.5 by 5.5s, with the 5.5 at the top, we're going to be scoring at 1/2 inch. With our 4 by 4.5, we are going to be scoring at 1/2 inch with the 4-inch at the top. And then with our 4.5 by 5.5, we will be scoring on 3 sides, and that is going to be one long side and both short sides. So, the first thing to do is we're going to be adding our flaps. So we will be needing our 4 3.5 by 5.5s and our 5.5 by 7.5. So folding on the score marks we made, taking a little bit of glue on the inside of the tab, we're going to be taking this and putting it quarter inch from one side. So I'm just lining up with the marks on my mat, quarter inch away from the edge. A little bit of glue on our next piece, and we're going to be putting this 1 3/8 away from the bottom. No. A little bit of glue to the next tab, flip it around, and then we're going to be gluing this 1 3/8 from the end that we put the first one on, just like so. And we're going to be doing the exact same thing with the other two. So a little bit of glue, and then on the side with the second piece, you're going to glue this one a quarter inch from the other end, just like so. And then flip it around, and then grab the last one and glue this one 1 3/8 from this edge, just like so. And now we're going to take our two 3 by 3.5s, and we're going to be gluing them on 2 of the flaps. It doesn't matter which ones you choose. With this one, I did the left 2. This time I think I'm going to do one on this side and then one on this side. So we're going to be doing the exact same thing. Putting a little bit of glue on the tab, and then sticking it to the edge of the flap. Just like so. And then take the other one and stick it down. Now for the next step, you are going to want to cover all this in pattern paper. So I'm going to go ahead and do that really quick, and then I'll be back to show you the next step. Now that the page is fully covered in the pattern paper, I'm going to show you how to attach the pockets. And if you notice over here, I have a little bit more of my cardstock showing, but that's not going to matter because a pocket is going to go right over this, so no one's going to see it. Let's start with the flap pockets. Grab your 3 by 4.5s, and we are going to just trim the corners off. The top corners at a slant, and then the bottom squares at a slant. And this will make 3 slanted tabs that look like this. And you will also want to do that to your 4.5 by 5.5 inch piece, because that is going to be the center pocket that goes right here. So just cut your corners, and then the same with the big one. Just so that when we get to this pocket, we can just do it really quickly. So then we're just going to fold on the score marks that we made. And we're going to grab our page. Flip to one of the flaps that doesn't have the extra flap on it, and grab your chosen adhesive, and we are going to just add a little bit to the outer portion of the bottom tab right here. And then tuck in the 2 sides like so, and carefully place it onto the inside of the flap, lining it up with the outer edge. Just like this. And then we're going to open up and take a little bit of tape here. And I'm going to need to cut mine down just a tiny bit. Don't want any tape poking out of your pocket. Just going to place a little bit of tape lightly tacked down on the tab, just so you can slide stuff into it. And then we're going to glue the side tabs and stick it down. Flip it around, go to your other blank flap, and we're going to do the exact same thing. Putting a little bit of glue on the outside of the bottom tab, lining it up with the edge of the flap, and getting a little bit of tape, lightly tacked down, and we're going to glue the two side tabs, forming the pocket. And now you have two side flap pockets. Onto the center pocket. How I'm going to do this is a little bit different than the other pockets that we made on the previous 2 pages. With this one, I'm going to decide how far I want my flap to be for my pocket. And then I'm just going to kind of lay it down and center it a little bit. How I want it. And then I'm going to carefully lift up the bottom tab, add a little bit of glue to it. And this might get a little messy, but don't worry. Just slide that tab to the inside and stick it down. And then one last time, grab a little bit of tape and lightly tack it down. And then I'm going to take my flap, gonna flip it around to make it a little bit easier for me to do this part. Put a little bit of glue on the tab here. Line it up with the sides of my pocket and center it as best I can, just like so. I'm going to just kind of rub that down. And now we are going to make the rack closure again, and I have these here, circle punched 3 cardstock pieces, glue them together, poked a hole in the center, and thread right through. And before we put these in, we need to cover this. I have 2 pieces right here. I'm going to grab my glue book and glue these down to my page. pocket paper, and then got the flat paper. And now we can add the brads. Take your Poke Tool and choose where you want to put it. I am going to center mine. So I'm just going to place my Poke Tool where I want it and then carefully poke it through. And then with the pocket, you want to make sure that the flap is on top so that your brad isn't covered by the flap. Otherwise it won't work. So there's my second hole. And now it's time to put these in. I have my little chipboard tool here. Put the brad and the cardstock through the slit here. And since this is so low, it's going to be a little tricky. So I'm just going to kind of finagle a little bit. Always just kind of bring it more to the edge here. But you want to make sure that the chipboard is still underneath here, just so that you have space to put your twine or whatever you're using. So I'm just going to put the legs down, take a little bit of tape, place it right over top there, and then I can slide this out. And since this is down, I'm going to glue the side tabs to make my little pocket. I'm gonna flip this around. Going to take my second brad and my tool, stick the brad right through the hole, use my little stiletto to help me push down the legs, and then I'm going to take some double-sided sticky tape to cover this, since I'm going to cover the back of this, because I don't want to see the brad legs. And then I'm going to take some string here, tie it around the top, and I always find that it's best to do it on the opposite side of where you're going to wrap it around. Remove the excess, and then I can wrap it around and cut off whatever I don't want. I'm going to finish putting the last couple pieces of paper on, and then I will show you the end result. And here is the end result of the page. Got 4 flaps, 2 with extended flaps and 2 with pockets. And in the center we have a slightly bigger pocket that we can close with our string. I hope you enjoyed, and if you make these, I'd love you to tag us. Information will be linked down below, and next week we will be showing you how to make the box so you can put all of your pages in it. I hope you enjoyed. Bye!